Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 15. How is everybody doing? We already have some people in the house. I saw Drone Shots was in, Drone Obsessed, Jerry Calvary was in, Peter is in, and Marcus is in. How is everyone doing tonight? We have a full slate tonight. It is jam-packed here. Got boatloads to talk about. I'm just very excited. We got a lot of good things coming up here. Hope everybody's had a great Tuesday. I did. We had 87 degrees here in Florida. Builder 710, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. Had a great time this past weekend. Wanted to let you know. Got to meet one of my bucket list boys, Ron Brown. He and his wife were in the Tampa area over the weekend, and they headed a little south to hit the beaches. They're on vacation here in Florida and actually got to fly drones with him. Ron brought his Mavic Pro, and I had my Mavic 2 Pro, and got a video coming out. In fact, I got two videos coming out, one tomorrow. I know you guys will like it. It's a cinematic video. I'm excited about it. It looks great. Marcus, welcome. Thanks for joining. Lon, welcome. So yeah, had a great time. Ron is fantastic. I wish I could get together with him every weekend. He and his wife were talking about possibly getting a home in Florida. So that greatly excites me. And again, we're going to be on tomorrow night on Bucket List Boys, Coast to Coast Drones at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night. And we're going to be with Drone Owners Network, Curtis Dart, and all of his good friends. Art, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. It's going to be a great video, Marcus. Trust me. It was a lot of fun there. I have to say that. I have not. This is actually my first time flying out over the ocean, believe it or not. The legit, well, I call it Gulf. It's the Gulf of Mexico, but anyway, it's still the ocean. So there's still sharks out there as far as I know. So, but we got a lot going on tonight. We got a lot to talk about here. We're going to be talking about the Parrot Anafi thermal. We're going to be talking about the Parrot Anafi firmware update. We're going to be talking about the Xdynamics Evolve. And we're also going to be talking about, we're going to lead off with, they actually caught the person who was flying the drone over Fenway Park. Peter Carroll, welcome. We're going to start off with that tonight. So give me a second here and let me bring that up. And we'll go ahead and switch here. Hang on a second here. Now, okay. Juvenile was operating. Here we go. Juvenile was operating a drone that flew over Fenway Park in Red Sox game, police say. And let's go ahead and bring this down here. Juvenile was operating the drone that flew over Fenway Park during Thursday night game between the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays, Boston police said in a statement released Saturday. The drone was seized as a result of a joint investigation that included the Boston Police, State Police, Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, and the FAA. The investigation remains ongoing, and it was not announced if the unnamed juvenile would face criminal charges. Steve Carpenter, welcome. The manufacturer of the drone, DJI, acknowledged in a statement the drone was one of its products, but deflected blame on the individual. DJI spokesman Adam Lisberg said in a statement released to national media outlets, including the USA Today Sports, that the actions of the individual violated FAA temporary flight restriction. He added, anybody should know that you should not fly a drone over a stadium during a baseball game. It's clearly illegal and stupid, okay? The unidentified drone hovered over the playing field at Fenway, causing a bit of a ruckus. It was enough of a distraction that Red Sox first baseman Mitch Moreland had to step out of the batter's box for a moment when he noticed the flying object during the ninth inning at bat. Kind of threw me off, Moreland said. I looked up and was like, they're not supposed to have these around here, are they? I figured I'd try to hit or something. The Red Sox won 7-6. And I'm going to play this little clip here so you can actually see it. Yeah, there's the drone right there. But we're going to go ahead and play. Drone Shots, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. Oh, Joe's Drone Life, welcome. Thanks for joining, Joe. Let's go ahead and get this clip played here. Now, you'll be able to see it here in a second. And you can see it's right there. I got the pointer right there. You can see it. This is a brief clip. It's only about 37 seconds. See, yeah, you can definitely tell that's a Phantom right there. That's definitely a Phantom. There he is. It's going up, 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 and it's up above. You can't see it now. So that was that. It was real interesting. Alec, welcome. Yeah, that wasn't subtle at all. Hey, Peter Carroll, welcome tonight. That was definitely not something that was subtle. Family of Tech, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight, my friend. Hope you're doing well. By the way, I like your new name change to your channel. That's absolutely fantastic. So, because it's a juvenile, name cannot be released. Thomas, welcome. How are you this evening? Thank you for joining. I know it's in the wee hours over there, and we really appreciate you showing up. You're a real trooper. You get the 2 thumbs up. Craig, welcome from New Zealand. All right. Wow. Craig, that's a first. I don't think I've had anybody show up on the show from New Zealand during the live show. So congratulations. That's fantastic. Well, because it's a juvenile, obviously they can't release his name because of that. And Paul, welcome. Yeah, people like that. You're right, Paul. People like that. I mean, he's a juvenile. It's probably, you're figuring, 16, 17 years old. He's under 18, so they can't release his name. And, whether or not they can press charges, that's going to be really dicey. I mean, really dicey. A lot of times, with murder cases, sometimes they do that with this. But I mean, it's something that's clearly illegal. Now, is this something that should fall back on a guardian or a parent? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if he's living at home with parents, and I think the parents need to take responsibility for this as well too. So this is real interesting, and I'm going to keep an eye on it and see how this plays out. If it was an adult, there's no problem. The charges would be pressed. Brad, welcome. Rick Halber, welcome. So that's the thing, because it's a juvenile. Number one, you can't find out his name. And number two, you don't know whether or not they're going to press charges. So, I don't know. It's about, Thomas, there was at a baseball game last week, there was a drone that flew out over the outfield. It was in Boston. It was the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. And it was a juvenile that flew it. They actually found who did it, and they found the drone. And because there was a huge investigation, the local police, the state police, the FAA, everybody got involved. So that's what that. And because it's a juvenile, they can't reveal this person's name. So it'll be real interesting to see what comes of this. And I'm definitely going to keep you guys posted, and we'll definitely stay informed on that. Now, one of the other things, and it's breaking news, we just found out about it, is Parrot released an Anafi thermal. Okay, and we're going to take a pretty detailed look at it. There's a short clip I'd like you guys to watch, and then we're going to go over some of the specs of this. And it's real interesting that they came out with this. There was some talk that Parrot was coming out with something, and they actually did. So let me go ahead and we'll get that screen up here. And let's go ahead and share. Okay, Anafi Thermal, the ultra compact thermal drone. Okay. Now I'm gonna play this clip so you guys can see this here. Okay. We're going to take a look at some of this here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get, they're touting this, pretty much like the DJI Mavic 2. Of course, all the features are the same on this. It has the 180-degree now that's actually pretty valuable because they can fly under objects and be able to use that. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to get here. Sony CMOS sensor HDR1 over 2.4 inch, 21 megapixel ASPH wide angle lens f 2.4, 23 to 69 millimeter photo, 26 to 78 millimeter video, and 35 millimeter equivalent focal length. Lossless zoom times 2.8 x3 in mode standard. Adobe DNG RAW and P-Log professional formats. Okay. Now, as far a FLIR sensor, a market-leading product, is integrated into the Anafi's thermal gimbal. Each element of the environment appears in high precision with visual representations of thermal leaks and temperature differences superimposed over the image. It reveals the thermal differences of flyover areas and elements, hot spots, cold spots, thermal leaks. FLIR lepton 3.5 microbolometer sensor, radiometric, precision of plus minus a 5% max high gain or plus minus 10% max low gain, dynamic range minus 10 degrees to plus 140 degrees Celsius high gain, or 10 degrees to plus 400 degrees Celsius low gain. Now, one of the things that's interesting on this, and I wanted to stop right here and talk about this, is on the Mavic 2 Dual, one of the things on that is, and this was pointed out to me by Brian from Smoky Mountain Aerial Imaging, the temperature sensors on the screen, those are only on your iPad or whatever device you use. They're not imposed on the video itself. And I'm wondering, because they said with visual representations of thermal leaks and temperature, I'm wondering if that's actually on the video itself with this. That's a big question that I have regarding this. Now, the price on this, from what I'm hearing, it is $1,900. Okay, and here's a representation of what it looks like on an iPad, which is hooked up. It's very interesting that they now obviously they have a way to be able, and some accessories to be able to do that, which are nice. So this is definitely something that is of interest. I've actually flown the Anafi before, and it flies extremely well. You may have seen my video with Rick, and I'll post a link for you guys to go ahead and check that out. But I was very impressed with the way it flies. It stops on a dime, and the specs say that it can take up to 32 miles an hour as far as the wind is concerned. So, and you can see here, I mean, it's really, it's really a cost-effective solution. I mean, compared to, I believe the Dual is $2,900 if I'm not mistaken, and this is $1,900. Yeah, Brad, thank you for that. And Peter, yeah, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's $2,900 for the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual. So correct me if I'm wrong there, but that's what I think we're at here. So, there's a lot of excitement regarding this, and rightly so, because the Parrot Anafi is a great drone. $2,700. Lon, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So almost $1,000 difference between the two. This looks great. I mean, I would like to see, obviously, we're seeing a film and promo and everything on this, which is fine, but I want to see some real world images on this. Now, it didn't have anything about, I haven't seen anything, and somebody correct me if you know this, I haven't seen anything about availability right now. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that. I haven't seen anything regarding availability on that. So, if anybody knows about that, definitely let me know as far as that's concerned. But this is exciting. This is something I think is very exciting for the drone community, because this has given DJI some competition here, which I think is great. I think this is something that is very much needed here, for them. And it's a little more cost effective than the dual, as far as that's concerned. And like I said, the proof is in the pudding. I would need to see some video. I had some time with the dual. It was brief, but I did have some time. But and I would like to. Obviously, I would love to have some time with the Anafi thermal. And it looks like Parrot has a winner on their hands. This is fantastic. And the form factor for this, guys, you have to remember. Okay, it comes in a case. It's probably no bigger than this, I believe, if I'm right. For those of you that do have enough, I wish Ethan was on tonight. Lionel, welcome. It's due out in May. Thank you very much. Bill Thomas, welcome tonight. Appreciate you showing up. Hubson should be next with a thermal for the Xena. Boy, Joe, that's a real 2 thumbs up from one of the bucket list boys here. That would be spot on. In kind of in theme with this, Bill Thomas pointed out to me, True Drone Reviews, Brian Singleton, he just did the firmware update for the Anafi. And, Bill was just raving about his video. So I went ahead and watched that video that Brian did. Just absolutely fantastic. I mean, the colors, everything. It was just, even though it's dreary Western Pennsylvania because it's just spring is just starting over there, but they really, it really looked great. I was very, very impressed with that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and talk about, in conjunction with this, we're also going to talk about, there was a firmware update that was done. And we're going to talk about some of the things on the firmware update. I wish Ethan Mitchell was here tonight, because I know Ethan has an Anafi too, and I would very much have loved to have had his input. But we're going to go ahead and look at that right now. Let's go ahead and bring that up here. We're going to share this. Okay. All right. Now, I'm talking about new features. Add a panorama viewer, new photo format, DNGY plus JPEG. Image settings are now stored. New SD card gallery display. Gallery media is now ordered chronologically. Introducing a max zoom alert. Minimal speed available, lowered for even smoother capture. Precise hovering now available in panorama and cine shots. Touch and fly now indicates the drone is landing. Cannot start touch and fly. Touch and fly, the first waypoint must be validated. Touch and fly made the transition smoother between waypoints. Added a gimbal calibration required alert in Free Flight 6. More details showed during a motor cutout alert. In the drone section, you can now see the status of your GPS connection and the number of GPS satellites you're connected to. Sliders for altitude and distance are now using an exponential set of movement. Okay. So, Parrot is really taking this seriously. And guys, for the price point, Ethan Mitchell, thank you for showing up. All right. Maybe you can add some input onto this. Ethan Mitchell, if you guys don't know him, Ethan, I'm going to go ahead and I'll make you a moderator. If you could drop your link in the description, that would be fantastic. Ethan has a great channel. I'd love for you guys to go ahead and check that out. And he's done a lot of videos on the Anafi. He's done one with waypoints. He's compared the Anafi, I believe, with the Mavic 2 Pro. Just a lot of great things. So that's something you definitely want to check out. Yes, Ethan, go ahead and drop your link to your channel there so everybody can check that out. And I'll make sure that I'll get it in the description as well. So Ethan, I want to get your input. True Drone Reviews, Brian Singleton, and I don't know how much you heard of this, just did a video on it, and Bill Thomas was raving about it. So Ethan, thank you. Bill Thomas was raving about it. It was from the last firmware update, and I watched it, and I was very impressed. Of course, I've been impressed with all the other ones that I've seen so far. I've been impressed with yours, but it really looked crisp, clear, and spot on. What did you think of the last firmware update? If you want to go ahead and add your 2 cents worth, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and close the screen here. I was just unduly impressed with it. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, and for the price point, you know, and I know I've seen some refurbished ones in the 500s out there, and I'm not sure. I think may have been on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. But it's really it's a drone that you really seriously do need to consider. You know, and I know, and one of the things that people say right away about the Anafi is, well, Bill, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. And I said, well, you know, here's my thing on obstacle avoidance. It is wonderful. I enjoy it. I have it on the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. I have it on the Mavic 2 Pro, all around sensors. It's great. It's fantastic. Here's the thing, you know, if you're a serious drone pilot, you know, that's something you're aware of your surroundings. And I know not all the time you can always be aware of them, but Craig, I would love to go. I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. Absolutely. You know, Peter, you're right. It is overrated, because if you're a skilled pilot, and I'm going to say, you know, most, if not all, the people that out there, you know, that I know and that I hang with regarding drones, you know, they're skilled pilots, and skilled pilots, you know, are out there. Hey, Cole, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. You know, skilled pilots know how to fly. They know where obstacles are. You know, they know where their drone is at all times. Hence, you know, visual line of sight. You know where your drone's at. And if it's getting in trouble, okay, Ethan, that's good. It was really nice. The POI mode and the touch fly feature is really nice. It allows you to watch the drones instead of eyes buried in the video stream. Fantastic, Ethan. Thank you. You know, that's just something I just absolutely positively enjoy. I think that's, and it's something that I think is worthy of everybody going on. Joe, that is a great drone, the Bebop. Yes, it is. That's something, you know, I can't speak enough of it in my time with it, and I flew it. And Ethan, I don't know if you heard my conversation earlier, but I was with Rick Smith, and he let me fly his Anafi for an extended period of time. And I was impressed with the battery life. I was impressed with starting and stopping on a dime. The 180 tilt on the gimbal was just absolutely fantastic. And if I get enough funds, I'm really seriously thinking, especially after Brian's last video and watching some of yours, about getting one. It just screams that. And again, you know, the big thing that people say, you know, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. Well, you know, sometimes you need training wheels. Well, I think a lot of us don't need those training wheels called obstacle avoidance, guys. I really don't. P-log is great once you figure out how to grade it. Oh, that's it. That's very interesting, Ethan. Definitely regarding that. So, Ethan, thank you for throwing the link in, and thank you for providing some input and feedback for that. You took DJI to task over precision landing with obstacle avoidance is necessary. Well, you know, I'm not. What I'm saying is, okay, I took DJI to task for precision landing because of the fact, you know, several subscribers are handicapped and really do truly require precision landing. You know, Mike Roach, you know, one of the great subscribers on the channel, you know, he's handicapped, you know, and he can't bend over to pick his drone up. And if you've watched his videos, you know, he uses a table to take on and off of. So he needs that precision landing, and others in his situation like that, they need that. You know, for obstacle avoidance, you know, it's a different story. And I think Mike would probably be the first to be able to say, you know, if you can see your drone, you should be able to avoid obstacles. You really should. Now, you can't always do that, but, you know, I'm speaking broadly here as far as that's concerned. You know, maybe they do, Lon, and maybe that's why, you know, I know Mike has a Mavic too. You know, and that's big, you know, that's for him. You know, and Ethan has a great time with the Anafi. So, you know, it's a drone to consider, and it's something to really think about, especially at the price point that it's at. I mean, it really is. The Anafi Precision Home works too. You just have to hit the land button once, and it comes down and stops. Awesome. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate your input on that. That's great. One of the other things that's come up recently, a lot of people are talking about the Xdynamics Evolve, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take an in-depth look at it right now. We're going to go over, there's a short video clip I'm going to play for you guys on that. Then we're going to look at the specs and have some talk about that. Let me go ahead and bring that up here. Now, the first time I ever heard of it was from Rick Smith from Drone Valley. And let's go ahead and, okay, here's the Evolve. Make your own horizons. And let's go ahead and play this video clip. Okay, there's the promo for the Evolve. Now let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at some of the specs here. Well, we'll flip through some of this here. We'll also look at design. See what they had to say. Optimized architecture for drone filming. Evolved his angled arms to keep motors and propellers off the scene with guaranteed smoothness on gimbal correction movements. Aerial camera with unshakability. Brushless 3-axis gimbal. And auto stabilization on tilt, roll, and pan axis. A quick release gimbal. Quick release propellers. Different levels, different flight modes. Most amazing camera drone control panel. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at specs here. All right. That's the, aircraft, 16.7 inches. It weighs 5.2 pounds, guys. Here are some numbers that I think we need to take a look at. Its maximum speed is 16 miles per hour. Oz by Drone, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. 60 miles an hour maximum speed. Okay. Now the maximum flight time, let's look here. 21 minutes. All right. Maximum operating range, 1,500 meters or about 5,000 feet. 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Satellite positioning system, that's the same. Sensors in it. It has LiDAR, optical flow, barometer, 3-axis gyroscope, accelerometer, magnetometer. Okay. Now the camera, and this is something I want to kind of dwell on here a little bit. CMOS, it's a Sony 1/2.3 inch CMOS, effective pixels 12.4. FOV 94 degree at 21 millimeter, f2.8, focus at infinite for lens, ISO range 100 to 6400, shutter speed 8,000 to 1 second, maximum photo resolution 4,000 by 3,000 4/3, 3840 by 2160 16:9. Video resolution 4K 3840 at 2160 at 30 frames per second. FHD 1920 by 1080 at 120 60 frames per second. HD 1280 by 720 240 at 60 frames per second. Okay. Maximum video bit rate 60 megabits. Photo formats JPEG, DNG, MP4, MOV. Supported SD cards types. You can read that. Micro USB connectivity. Weight, it's 4.2 ounces, and camera dimensions, you can see them right here. Okay. Now, this is something that I do want to focus on here. And this is something that a lot of people have talked about. And I thought this is worthy of discussion. Now, this drone retails for $2,500. Okay. And, what you're getting here, okay, the drone itself looks great. The now I did watch a video from Captain Jones from Steve, and he had a he did a great overview from it, and he talked about the controller. He did spend a lot of time on the controller. Grumpy Vlogger, welcome, Lloyd. Thank you for joining tonight. So with that being said, it has a Qualcomm processor in there, and it's state of the art. I mean, this controller is massive, and it also weighs a lot too. I mean, would need a harness to hold this. Okay, now there are a lot of good things about this drone, but I think the Achilles heel is right here on this drone. Okay, you have a drone that looks incredible, okay, and can do some amazing things, but you have a camera that's not so incredible. The camera, guys, on my Mavic 2 Pro is better than the camera on this $2,500. My $1,500 Mavic 2 Pro has a better camera that's on this $2,500 dollar Evolve. Okay, think about it. That's $1,000 difference. And I know, well, it has the nice screen on it. Well, if you wanted to jump up and get the smart controller, you probably, and bundle it, I think you can get it for about $1,800. And that makes a difference on this, guys, of $700, okay, between the two. Think about that, okay? This does have a lot of great features on it, okay? Now, I've also heard, too, that there are issues. I talked to Brian from Smoky Mountain Aerial Imaging. He did mention to me on the phone, we had a conversation, that it has issues in the wind. He did say that. He wasn't real specific, but he did say that he has had it and he has been testing it. But that's one of the things that he did mention here. So, all in all, this is a drone that's, I talked a little bit with Bill Thomas. Johnny Droneflower, welcome. $700 plus two more. Thank you, Bill Thomas. Appreciate that. Bill and I kind of chatted a little bit about this, and also I heard Curtis Dart offer his opinion too. And the same thing, this is probably something I think they wanted to fill that gap between the Phantom and the Inspire. Okay. And on paper, it does look like it would do that. Okay. But the thing is with this, and this is something we need to realize, guys, with this drone, okay, you're spending $2,500, okay. Now for a Mavic 2, like I said, you're spending $500, but like Bill said, it's it's $700 equal 2 Flymore combos. Yeah, you're right. So imagine all the batteries that you could get with this, with a Mavic 2 Pro. For $2,500, spending that. But if you look at it on the face, $1,500 versus $2,500, and you're taking a look, you're getting a better camera, and as good as the quad is, and as great as you're getting it up in the air, you also are limited to 21 minutes of flight time. You have 30 minutes on your Mavic 2 Pro. That's a difference right there. So these two things I think are the Achilles heel of this drone. Is the camera, which is clearly, not as good as the Mavic 2 Pro, and the flight time, 30 minutes. And that's 9 extra minutes up there. And I can tell you, after having met Ron over the weekend and flying out over the Gulf and just having a total blast, I needed every bit of those 30 minutes to get some incredible shots. And you guys will be in for a treat. Trust me. I got 2 videos coming up on that one. And I did hyperlapse on one of the sunset, and it's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Those colors came screaming through. So, those are the things to remember about the Xdynamics Evolve here. Okay. The camera and also the runtime. Maybe that's something they can work on for a future release, is, upgrading that camera module. Now, they did say the camera module does come off, which I think is great. And, maybe they can upgrade the battery, as far as being able to get some extra runtime on it. It does look good. It does look like it's a good drone. But, also, I heard too, that there's some issues regarding it in high wind. So there you have it for the Xdynamics Evolve. That's what we got for that right now. So if they do release a 4.3 camera, it'll come in $1,000, which I put. Yeah, you're right, Lon. You're right. The price jumps up exponentially with that. I mean, that's an excellent point. You know, when you spend $3,500, folks, okay, you're talking Inspire territory, Inspire 2 territory. Okay, that's a lot of money for this. Okay. And really, and from what I've heard already, you know, Brian from Smoky Mountain Aerial Imaging told me, you know, it really didn't handle high wind very well and wind very well. So I'm interested to see, you know, what some of these test flights are, and you know, in what real world, what things look like, and what we get back with video and everything. But again, you know, the two things: the camera, the battery time. You know, those are two things that kind of really just jump out to me about this. So yeah, Inspire can have dual operators. That's another great point, Ethan. You know, you can have two people running the Inspire, one who focuses on flying, the other one who focuses on the camera. And with this, I mean, and it looks like a Star Trek, a console out of Star Trek, which it just absolutely looks fantastic and cool, and you don't need to worry about getting a tablet or anything. But, you know, again, you know, this is something that we have with this. So, so there we have it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Craig. Looks aren't everything. That's absolutely right. Maybe I'll come out with quieter props. That could be true, Joe. That really could be true. So I have two great videos coming out. Okay, I have one coming out tomorrow morning from my time with Ron and his wife, and I have another one coming out over the weekend. So you guys be on the lookout for those. They're absolutely stellar. I got some incredible images out there, and the colors were just absolutely fantastic. And our only wish, Ron's and I only wish, was that Bill Thomas could have been there with us, because we had so much fun. It would have been Bill, it would have been even better had you been there with us. I guarantee you that. Also want to remind everybody of tomorrow night on Coast to Coast Drones at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be on. You know, the link will be in the description, so definitely you want to be checking that out. One of the other things I wanted to mention here before we wrap it up, only us ugly people say looks are Lloyd, I like that. They'll be releasing more thermal for the Evolve in the future. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear, Steve. Thank you for bringing that point up. But you know, but $2,500. I mean, that's a real interesting price point. I want to talk about 51 Drones. Russ, he released a video today stating that DJI is going to be coming out with their own version of the GoPro or an action cam, which I find very interesting. And one of the things, really probably the only thing that I have to say about that is, now I talked to one of my friends who's has some contacts and he knows some people. That's the first he's ever heard of anything like that. And the other thing I wanted to say about that is regarding, you know, an action cam. DJI just put out the Osmo Pocket. All right. Why would they put out an action cam to compete against the Osmo Pocket? I mean, they're starting to release more accessories for the Osmo Pocket as we speak. And, you know, they wouldn't put, you know, it doesn't make any marketing sense for them to do something like that at this point. So, you know, Russ did a great video on that. You know, it could happen. I don't know. But from a logical standpoint, from my kind of standpoint, what I think it is again, you know, watch my video that I just posted with Canadian Drone Hub for my thoughts on what's going to happen with the next event. So you guys can see that. But, you know, who knows? Russ could be right. They might be coming out with an action cam, but logically, it doesn't make any sense for them to do something like this with the Osmo Pocket out there and selling well and accessories selling well. That's just one of those things. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. So, you know, that's my two thoughts on that. And Russ has a great channel. I'll drop a link in the description. If you guys aren't subscribed to 51 Drones, do so. Russ does a great job. I think one of the things he does really well is he's really on top of the FAA rules and regulations and, you know, studying for your Part 107, night flying, everything. I mean, you know, beyond visual line of sight, Russ has that down pat. So Russ, if you're watching, kudos to you. You do a great job with that. I'm just thinking, for me, it doesn't make any sense why DJI would do something like that. It just does not add up. So, also wanted to remind everybody about Spin Up. It's on October 19th down in, I think it's Round Rock, Texas. I think I'm right, near where Kelly lives. So you guys definitely need to circle that date on your calendar and get your piggy banks full of money so you can go down for that. Steve Carpenter, thank you for posting Russ's link in there. I appreciate that. Like I said, if you guys haven't subscribed to Russ, you're on the wrong. You haven't. I don't know where you're at, because Russ has a fantastic channel. He does great videos, and one of the things I really like I said, his FAA videos, his rules and regulations, Part 107. He does a stellar job. He takes deep dives into all that. And you want to know something, definitely check him out, and check out his video too. Absolutely, check out his video. So, that's kind of it for tonight. I do have some other things coming up. I have, I'm going to be on Val's show, on Val's Life, on April 28th in the evening. I believe it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. If anybody's out there that knows about that, please correct me on that. But I believe that's what time her show is on, and I'm really looking forward to that. And you guys can catch me usually I'm on Canadian Drone Hub sometime on Saturday mornings. I can't say when, because I don't know what time I get up on Saturdays, but I'm enjoying my time on there with them. Roger, Val, Paul, Hugh have been on it. Those guys are just absolutely fantastic. Ethan, that's a good question. Hang on just a second. That's a great, I really like them. They do such a great job for the drone community. Check them out. They're on every day. Everybody is on there. They just do a fantastic job. They spread the good news about drones. I mean, that's what it should be about. I mean, absolutely, positively. So, Ethan, no, I don't have any specs on it yet. That's something, Bill Thomas and I have been talking about that. So, I do find anything out, I will post that. Again, I don't think they're going to be going too crazy with it. I think it's definitely going to be an upgrade. Some of the things, you're definitely going to see 4K on the Spark. I think it's going to keep the same form factor. I don't think they're going to be doing a whole lot with that. You'll probably see new ESCs. You'll probably see quieter motors. You'll probably see quieter props. Those are some things I would say for sure that you're going to see. They may put in a rear sensor on that. They may put a sensor on the top. But again, they want to try to keep that price point down, because that's the big selling feature for the Spark. So I think that's where we're at regarding the Spark. So, so I think that's about it for tonight. I'm going to have, I think, Chris Anderson on from the Drone Podcast. He's going to be on our Drone Trainers Podcast. Excuse me, Chris, if you're watching, I apologize. But I'm going to have him on May 7th. Going to have not this Sunday because it's Easter Sunday, but on April 28th, I think I'm going to have a Sunday afternoon Rotor Talk Live, so be looking out for that. Alvin's Red Sea Aquarium, welcome. I just saw you. Love to see upgrade with 2 Pro camera 4K 60. Yes. Well, I don't know if they're going to get that crazy, but you'll definitely see 4K 30 on it, because of the price point. They want to keep that price point down for people to be able to afford it. So that's about all that I have for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Kevin, welcome. Thank you guys so much for the support of the channel. And please go ahead and smash that like button on the way out. I would really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. The time and the effort that I put into that. And, there is some time and effort that goes into the Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live. There's a lot of times, I have to do research on subjects, and I'm going to present to you information. Now, all the information I presented to you tonight was from the manufacturers. It was from Parrot, and it was from Xdynamics, what you saw out there, everything that we talked about. So it wasn't from, any news article, anything else. It's straight from the manufacturer. So, and you got, my impression. And thank you guys all for a great discussion tonight. I really appreciated that. Want to thank everybody again for subscribing, for watching, for liking. I got some great videos coming up. I'm still going to continue the Phantom 4 series versus the Mavic 2 Pro, so be watching for that. Thank you all so much again for being on tonight. Hit that like button on the way out. And remember, it's a great day to fly. Till next time.